An article that came out the Sun Sentinel, and this is a rising OD deaths create backlog in South Florida morgues. This came out in the Sun Centennial, August 30th, 2017. I'll leave the link to this article in the description box. In the midst of an opioid plague, bodies arrive at South Florida morgue with alarming frequency. There are days when I come to the office and say, oh my God, I've got 10 overdoses and a homicide, said Palm Beach County Medical Examiner Michael Bell. Over the weekend, we've had as many as 15. In Broward County, the crush of corpses that must be autopsied is taking a toll on staff. We just want to get the work done and somehow get home for a few hours of sleep before putting in another 12 to 14-hour day. Wow, said medical examiner Craig Maulick, whose staff often works into the evening to complete most autopsies within 24 hours. We are working tons of hours, said Maulick. Weekend plans get ruined. It's hard. Overdose deaths from drugs such as heroin and lethal synthetics are claiming an average of 142 lives a day in the U.S., according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, provided to the Presidential Commission on the Opioid Crisis. And I bet every dime it's higher than that. They're not going to tell us. In Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade counties, late last year, record numbers of overdose deaths is a cinch to be shattered this year. My best guess as of today is that we'll have between 2,300 and 2,500 opioid deaths in the three counties in 2017, said Jim Hall, on Nova Southwest University. Wow. You know, I have relatives down there. That's why I'm a little fascinated with this story of what's going on in Florida. That is an average of 6 to 7 per day, year round. Statewide, the total is projected to 20 a day. Whew. 20 overdose deaths per day. Oh man. Although precise in 2016 figures from the Florida's Medical Examiners Commission, we are not yet available. Hall estimates last year overdose death toll in South Florida at about 2,200. Bell thinks the estimate of 2017 total may be high, but the pace of opioid fatalities in Palm Beach County is running about 30% ahead of 2016, when nearly 700 people died of drug overdoses. More than 85% of those deaths were due to opioids, including heroin and powerful chemical cousins such as fentanyl and carfentanil, an animal tranquilizer, Bell said. It feels like being on a treadmill, Bell said. We are trying to keep up. In Broward County, 582 accidental overdose deaths were recorded in 2016. Of those, about 90% involved opioids, Maulick said. Palm Beach County, Broward, is also seeing a 30% rise in overdose numbers so far this year, Maulick said. In Miami-Dade County, drug overdoses claimed 455 lives in 2016. Of those deaths, 324 involve opioids, according to the medical examiner's office. Both Broward and Palm Beach counties have added at least one medical examiner is the past year and are attempting to recruit pathologists to help keep up with the crush of autopsies. But there are not a lot of forensic pathologists out there to be had, said Maulick. Broward Mayor Barbara Sharif said she recognized the strain of the ME's office is under. If the medical examiners come to us and say we need more resources, the commission will consider that outside the budget process, she said. In Palm Beach County, the office budget was boosted by $304,000 this fiscal year to pay for staff and the rising number of laboratory tests, according to John Von Arnhem, Deputy County Administrator. We want to make sure they have the resources they need, said Von Arnhem. On a typical day, the garage doors near the rear of the Palm Beach County morgue at 3126 Gun Club Road swing open often to allow a removal service van to pull up in with yet another grim delivery. The body was moved from the gurney to a fiberglass top morgue table, stripped of clothes and covered with sheets. A tag with an identifying case number is attached to a toe. The body is then rolled into the refrigerated cooler. There is space in the cooler for about 100 bodies until the autopsies are performed and samples of blood, urine, and then I guess bodily fluid from the eyeballs are sent by FedEx to a laboratory in Indiana. The official cause of death remains unknown. That takes about 3 to 4 weeks. But Bell and his staff of 5 medical examiners usually know right away which of the incoming are likely drug overdoses. These people, for the most part, are healthy between 30 and 50 years old, said Bell. So in an internal exam, they look normal. But we're in the middle of a plague when hundreds are dying of ODs. These people die before their time. After an autopsy, the body is returned to the cooler where it remains until it's released to a funeral home, Bell said. Outside of the examining rooms, investigators compile a history of the deceased, gathering information from the police and family members. One of the first to lose his life this year from an overdose in Palm Beach County was a 25-year-old Robert Sweenhart. He was found lying on the floor of his West Palm Beach apartment on January 4th. On a dining room table nearby was a syringe and a laptop computer. The cause of death was a combination of cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl. An autopsy revealed Sweenhart had struggled with addiction for more than 5 years, moving in and out of rehabilitation centers in South Florida and near his home outside of Philadelphia, according to Judy Cooper, his mother. He was always willing to go to rehab, was always looking for help, said Cooper. All right, so we know he was looking for help, okay? In the weeks before his death, Sweenhart visited his family in Pennsylvania, and it's just a typical drug story. And it just talks about his addiction. And we hear these stories over and over, so I'm not going to really go heavily into that. But I will leave the link to this story in the description box. And, this story draws my attention, like I said, because I have family in Florida. And I know, just talking to a few of them, they have seen these addicts down there begging for money on the streets and, just walking around looking all zombified on the street. So tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can donate to my channel, please do. Peace, family.